Imagine a world where achieving your goals feels almost effortless, where every action aligns naturally with who you are. I was thinking about this idea recently and realized that the key isn't about forcing actions. It's about tapping into a hidden switch in our brain. Sounds too good to be true? I've experienced moments where a simple shift in mindset made all the difference. In this video, I'll share insights on how your identity shapes your behavior, how to design systems that naturally support your goals, and how to rewire your brain so that success isn't a distant dream but a natural outcome of your daily habits. Most people approach goals backward. They focus on what they need to do: exercise more, eat healthier, or work harder. I used to think that success was all about checking off tasks until I was exhausted. But then I discovered the secret isn't in the actions alone. It's in who you choose to become. For instance, instead of saying, "I need to go to the gym," try reframing it as, "I am someone who takes care of their body." I remember the moment when I first shifted my mindset. It felt like everything fell into place. This is the identity-first principle. When your actions align with your self-image, change becomes effortless rather than forced. So, here is your action step. Write down the identity that aligns with your goal, be it a creative writer, a healthy person, or a disciplined learner. Then, list the habits that naturally flow from that identity. Over time, you'll notice that your daily actions begin reinforcing this self-image, creating a positive feedback loop that has worked wonders for me. I was thinking about the times I got stuck and realized that simply dreaming wasn't enough. To adopt a new identity, your brain needs two crucial elements: clear visualization and honest obstacle planning. Picture yourself as the person you want to be, but also consider the potential roadblocks. Take the example of starting a side hustle. I vividly imagined myself thriving in my venture, and then I asked, what could possibly stop me? By acknowledging obstacles like a lack of time, distractions, or fear of failure, I prepared myself to face them head-on. A technique I swear by is mental contrasting combined with if-then scenarios. For example, if I feel like procrastinating, I'll take a 5-minute break and then start again. Big goals can sometimes feel overwhelming. I've been there too. That's why I focus on what I call minimum viable progress. Instead of setting out to overhaul my entire routine overnight, I started with the tiniest, most manageable action. If I wanted to read more, I committed to just one page. When it came to fitness, I began with one push-up. It might seem insignificant, but these micro-actions are incredibly powerful. They bypass your brain's natural resistance to change and build momentum gradually. Once you start, you're already on your way. I learned to celebrate every small win because each tiny victory built my confidence and reinforced my belief in my ability to change. Over time, these small steps compounded into significant progress. Your surroundings can either be your best friend or your worst enemy when it comes to achieving your goals. I remember struggling with distractions until I began to intentionally design my environment. This concept, known as temptation bundling, involves pairing something you need to do with something you enjoy. For example, imagine having a favorite podcast that you only listen to while exercising. Or consider reserving a cozy coffee shop exclusively for working on that big project you've been putting off. I've personally experienced how such associations can make it easier to commit to positive habits. A few more tips that have worked for me include placing healthy snacks within reach while hiding unhealthy ones, or keeping my guitar out in the living room to encourage practice. Simplifying my surroundings also reduced decision fatigue. Preparing gym clothes the night before, for example, eliminated morning excuses. Even my digital space benefited once I decluttered notifications and used website blockers to maintain focus. Our brains often take mental shortcuts, quirks that we can actually use to our advantage. These psychological glitches include things like our strong aversion to loss and the Zeigarnik effect. The aversion to loss idea is that the discomfort of losing something is far more motivating than the pleasure of gaining something of equal value. For example, if you put money on the line for a goal, you create a powerful incentive to stick with it because the thought of losing that money pushes you to succeed. Imagine you commit to a 30-day fitness challenge and agree to donate a set amount to a cause you don't support if you fail. The risk of losing that money motivates you to keep going because nobody likes the idea of a loss. This Zeigarnik effect refers to our brain's tendency to remember and be bothered by unfinished tasks. When a task is left incomplete, your mind holds on to it, creating a mental tension that makes you want to finish it. Every new habit you try to form builds on the foundation of your existing routines. This is where habit stacking comes in, attaching a new habit to one that's already part of your day. Over time, that simple addition transformed my mornings. Some habits, which I call gateway habits, have a ripple effect on other areas of your life. Regular exercise or quality sleep, for example, can significantly improve everything else. I learned that the key is to remove as much friction as possible between you and your new habit. Here are a few examples that I personally use. After brushing my teeth, I do 5 minutes of stretching. After drinking my morning water, I take a minute to meditate. Motivation isn't just about hype. It's deeply rooted in how our brain processes rewards. I used to chase big outcomes, but I eventually learned to celebrate small wins along the way. Tracking these wins triggers dopamine release, which builds momentum. A practice that really resonated with me was writing a letter from my future self, thanking me for the steps I was taking today. This simple exercise rewired my brain to value long-term benefits, making my motivation feel more natural and automatic. It's a technique that helped me stay connected with my goals during challenging times. We all have untapped potential when it comes to focused work. I struggled with distractions until I discovered the power of deep work, periods of intense focus without interruptions. I started batching similar tasks together and noticed a dramatic increase in my productivity. Simplifying decisions by establishing routines, like wearing similar outfits or following a fixed morning schedule, helped conserve my mental energy. I learned to manage my energy, not just my time, scheduling deep work sessions during my peak productivity hours. The Pomodoro technique, which involves working in focused intervals, say 25 minutes, followed by short breaks, was particularly effective for me in maintaining sustained focus and preventing burnout. Our minds aren't built to store every single task or idea. I used to feel overwhelmed until I started externalizing my thoughts into a second brain. Offloading tasks, ideas, and reminders into a system like Notion, Evernote, or even a bullet journal frees my mental space for more creative and critical thinking. Taking a clarity pause, where I write down all my thoughts and concerns, has been one of the most liberating practices for me. This simple habit reduces mental clutter, allowing me to focus on what truly matters. One of the most fascinating discoveries for me was learning about neuroplasticity, our brain's ability to rewire and adapt through new experiences. Every small habit and action I take is reinforcing positive neural pathways. For instance, practicing gratitude daily has not only improved my outlook, but also strengthened my brain's ability to adapt and grow. Understanding neuroplasticity has reinforced my belief in starting small and being consistent. It's a reminder that every effort counts and that change, however gradual, is always within reach. Change isn't just possible. It's inevitable when you equip yourself with the right strategies. By shifting your identity, designing an environment that supports your goals, leveraging the quirks of your brain, and building solid systems, you can achieve any goal you set your mind to. Reflecting on my own journey, I can confidently say that the greatest journey always begins within. What resonated with you most? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's continue this journey together. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights.